Welcome to the Public. This is James.
I'm Adam.
And we do not have a lot to talk about. Haha, motherfuckers! So screw you! No, but we do have a couple things. Douches of the week. Let's just go straight into it.
Okay.
Douches of the fucking week. We have Bears fans.
Yep.
Bears fans again. So fuck you guys. You think that you guys are going to go out and win the Super Bowl. Ooh, look at us. We got the best defense in the world. You know what? It's been inconsistent these years, year in and year out. Remember the Jaguars 2 years ago? You remember the Eagles 2 years ago? What the fuck happened to them? They both suck. Eagles probably have a better chance of getting to the playoffs again. Jaguars are dead in the fucking water. They're not going to get that shit done.
Different quarterback, they might.
Well, with Nick Foles, yeah, okay, I got you there. But defense wins championships, but defense does not make dynasties.
And you could
That's
game plan
how it
against
is.
a defense. And the whole thing I keep laughing about is, okay, yeah, the Bears had an amazing defense last year, but first off, they weren't the best defense in the league.
Right.
They were top 5 defense, which is
Right.
amazing, but they weren't the best defense in the league.
It's true.
Also, they lost Bryce Callahan, Adrian Amos, and Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Which is going to hurt their defense.
Yep.
Because people just think, who did they get as their new coordinator now?
Sure, does it span?
No, it was another head coach who used to be on the Colts.
Yeah, Spain.
No, that's an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck. Oh, my God. Who the fuck is it? I can't even think about it. Who the fuck is it? Pagano, there you go. There you go.
And like people are saying that Pagano will just like kind of mirror what Fangio's defense did and just like be just as good. But if you look at Pagano's years coordinator, like he had outliers where one was like a top 10 defense, one was, but he didn't do it consistently.
No.
And also the one thing I noticed last year that's really going to hurt the Bears is number one, not having Callahan, because he's a really good slot corner.
Yes, he is.
And Screen is nowhere near as good as Callahan was.
No.
Losing Amos is going to hurt them. It's also going to hurt the fact that Haha is going to start the season on the PUP list because he has a sprained hamstring.
He's going to start on our PUP list.
Also, Mac, like I've said before, is an amazing player. But if he doesn't have one of those 4 sacks, 3 fumble games, the Bears defense doesn't do much. It's like it's basically
they got Leonard Floyd.
Yeah,
gotta give him
Floyd, who was a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
his most sacks, and people were talking shit about the Packers spending money on Preston Smith when his most sacks was 7. Floyd's most sacks was 6 in a year, as a top 10 pick, who was taken I think before Vic Beasley.
I think you're right, too. Yeah, that's... boy, you kind of missed on that one a little bit.
And, Floyd's an okay player, but the reason I'm not really intimidated with him is you think Mac is probably getting double, triple teamed.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Floyd able to get through, get sacks, make any form of an impact on the game? So he just, kind of disappeared. And... If Mac doesn't have one of those insane games, people can move the ball on their defense. They have one really good corner, Kyle Fuller, but Prince Amukamara isn't that great.
No, he's
good.
Not. He's good.
Yeah, he's good, but he's not.
But he's gonna get beat.
Yeah, and even Fuller will get beat because that game 2 years ago when Rodgers was hurt and it was Hundley versus the Bears. Which was Hundley's one semi-decent looking game. He ended up specifically only going to Devontae Adams the whole game, which, is understandable for a young quarterback because that's their best receiver.
Yes.
And the whole game he was covered by Fuller, and I think he ended with 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, Fuller's really good, but against top receivers like that, he can be beat too. And I don't trust their offense is actually going to...
I think they're going to be good, but I think they're going to be actually the better of the two. I think their defense is going to be inconsistent this year. You never know with injuries and all that shit, but I don't think they're going to be a top 5 defense. I don't even think they're going to be a top 10 defense. Mark my words right now. On July 25th, they will not be a top 10 defense. The Bears, the Chicago Bears, not happening. And I think the offense is actually going to click. I think this is the year it's like, oh man, only if we had the defense of last year and the offense of this year, we'd have a full team. But guess what? It's not going to happen. Offense will be good. I think Trubisky will take a step forward. I'm not going to say that Trubisky is going to be a world beater. I'm not going to say that he's going to be a Super Bowl quarterback, franchise quarterback right off the gate. We'll see how he is this year. But right now, I think he will be an average to above average quarterback. I think he will be like oh my God, like a Marcus Mariota, like God, there's somebody else that I'm really thinking about. But like
Joe Flacco.
Like Joe Flacco. You leave my goddamn Joe Flacco alone. But he'll be like a
Joe
Marcus.
Flacco didn't do what Lamar just.
But he'll be that type of a quarterback. He's going to be reliable. He is going to make some plays when you need him to, but he's also going to be not making all the plays.
That's the
but
one
I
thing
think this
really
offense will be good.
About him. I really don't think he'll be able to make the plays when you need him to. Because, it was only his second year last year. But the 2 to 3 games, they really needed him to make plays. He didn't.
Well, that was last
the Dolphins.
Year. I mean, it was his
the
first
Dolphins,
full
the Cardinals.
Year.
No, I mean, he came
his
in
first
week
full
4.
year. Well, it was still his first full year.
And then the playoffs against the Eagles.
Well, yeah, that was.
And then people keep, especially reporters in Chicago want to keep, kind of discounting his games that he looked awful, and even the first game against the Packers.
Yeah.
Saying, because whenever they're talking about it, they're trying to say, make Mitch out to be, the next, great quarterback. He is Andrew Luck now because, he's just been held back, but now he's going to be great. And whenever you mention to them or text into them, what about these 4 games where he looked like a far below average quarterback? And then they'll just respond back to, oh, we're not talking about that.
Yeah. Well, fuck them. That's what I gotta say. Fuck you guys. Now, because not a whole lot is going on, we're in the dog days of sports. We do have football popping up, and we're going to be getting ready to tell you guys the preview of the NFL season and all that shit. So, we could either go straight into WWE or what you wanted to talk about sports video games.
Yeah, I'll do my douche first because it's going to be short.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're douche. I forgot.
Addison Russell.
Whoa.
Because, number one, obviously what he did, was terrible. But
of course.
Also, the fact that he's just a fucking moron. This is his 4th or 5th year in baseball. And just now he's trying to say, the reason he's been making so many errors on the field is because he doesn't know the signs. And kind of as they brought up on the score, I think it was McKnight brought it up, saying that, okay, if you're in your first 2 years, and you don't understand the signs, okay, go to a coach, be like, yeah, I'm just not getting this, I don't understand. Can you teach me? But you're 4th or 5th year
in,
and just now you're saying because you're doing awful, you're saying, "Oh, I don't know the signs."
What a
and I think a lot of that could have been attributed to before how the lineup was with Javi Baez at short and Russell at second.
Yeah,
you just could rely so much on Baez to just fucking cover 90% of the infield and just fly, and you didn't really. And Russell could just make routine plays, but now he can't even do that.
Wow, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. That's sad. That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, and although luckily he's one of the people that's rumored to potentially get traded to Detroit for Castellanos, but just I used to like him. I thought he was gonna be a lot better than he turned out to be, just because he started off so good. But it's kind of like Mike Montgomery. After the World Series year, they both just were awful. Like neither of them could like even come close to repeating that, and it really stinks right now for the Cubs just because like obviously Zobrist is MIA, or either he's dealing with family stuff or he's hurt or something. They're really not saying why he's out. I mean, they found lucked into a decent young second baseman and that they're using right now in Garcia. He's okay, but he's not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna continue. It's just like kind of like a hot streak.
Yes.
They were actually talking about, and this would be kind of complete opposite of what they normally do, about calling up their first round pick from 2 years ago up really, really early, and Nico Horner, and having him play second because like they need someone that they could at least like try to get in sync with Baez and Bryant and all them. And so like that's a possibility, unless like it's too bad that like the easiest option would have been if he was actually producing in the minors, would have been just call up Ian Happ again, because he is like essentially a second baseman / center fielder, but hasn't been doing anything in the minors, and they're trying to figure out like solutions for him too and for Russell. And it was like really funny because one person called into the score and like tried to defend Addison Russell and said that.
Oh no.
I'm trying to think what it was. He said, "Do you think it's easy for him having to play here when everyone thinks he's such an awful person for a story that came out about him and about something that came out about him? And do you think it's easy for him to be able to focus on baseball when everybody has already judged him and hates him for that?" And then like obviously the score people who are like usually very on the other side of this were like, well, what happened was something he admitted. He did do that, and it was an awful thing. Like, and it's his job to be able to play baseball, no matter what's going on.
So you should know the fucking signs, you douche. So you intrigued me, and you told me you wanted to talk a little bit about sports games. The new Madden is coming out August 2nd or sometime next week. Next Friday. And from what it seems like, there's a few new things coming in about franchise mode, and they got this whole X Factor thing. They had this before. They had this X Factor type thing way beforehand. I think
you mean the rewind mode that used to make you go crazy?
Fucking kill you. They're not bringing back rewind mode.
Just wait.
That was the worst. That was the absolute worst fucking thing ever.
That was so funny.
Oh yeah, so funny. I almost broke my arm that night. Motherfucker. That was the worst. And actually, the game engine of that Madden was god awful too. Very clunky. Very, very clunky. But no, so they have this X Factor mode. You know, if you played Madden this year, you have, the experience points in franchise. You have normal, quick, star, superstar, and
Superstar is the top one.
Yeah. And this one, you still have those, and then you have X Factor, which could actually go with any of those categories too, which actually gives the player certain, I think, like extra boosts each game or something like that. Kind of like the confidence thing, but not really. But it's only certain players; it's not all of them. It seems kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a few Maddens, like in Madden 03 or 04, where they had like, you had the ability things, like you saw that, a dude with like a shoe that's on fire that showed that, he's really fast and shit like that. So it's kind of like a generic thing of that. So it seems like it's good.
It'll be interesting. I think the one thing I've wanted them to bring back for a while is I want them. Like I like the little stories with the whole comeback thing. Like it was okay.
Like the quarterback.
Yeah, it was like okay and
kind
fun
of like
for a while.
NBA.
Yeah,
2K.
it was kind of fun and okay for a little while. But I want them to go back to like the actual superstar mode, where you pick a player,
Yeah.
like you pick what position you want to be and like your background and everything, and then like go through the training camps and like the combine and everything.
Well,
And
they
see where
sort
you're
of do
drafted.
have that because this one, they said that you're actually going to be playing a couple college games.
Yeah.
So when you,
But you did that as the comeback thing too.
Oh, okay.
You played high school and college games and then
Oh.
eventually got drafted. But when you got drafted,
you don't
never played.
Yeah.
You just got drafted and then like you kind of just ended.
Oh,
like you could have played some of the games and like kept going, but then but you have like no goals and you're just automatically a starter. And like you're just in there and it's just like normal games as whatever team you were drafted by. But like I like the old superstar mode where like you kind of picked like personality traits. Like I think it went 1 year. I think in like 14 or 15, they went like really in depth with it. Where it was like your mother is like a sprinter, your father was like a professional football player,
right? Like an Olympian or something like that.
I'm gonna play a receiver with like top speed or something.
That was pretty cool.
Like I kind of wanted them to bring that back for a while, and also like. There's things that like MLB and NBA and even NHL do like way better in terms of like the trade engine, where you could like just select a person and say, okay, what can I get for him?
Right, like NBA is so easy. It's like, all right, I want to trade him. What's anybody gonna offer me? Instead of like manually doing it yourself, and it takes
a lot of
times,
even though you're fully on green. Says no, I don't want this trade. I don't like this player.
Right. It's like,
even though you're like fully
trying.
Yeah.
You know, this bullshit.
But like in NBA and MLB, you like select the player and then say do the trade finder thing. And it brings like almost like every team in the league like what they're willing to give you for that player. Mm-hmm. And like Madden needs to have something like that.
Yes, they do. I agree. Yeah, but they are taking one thing from the NBA 2K series that they're implanting into this, which I'm very excited about, and that's actually the morale type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like in franchise mode, if you have Odell Beckham Jr., right, and it's it doesn't say exactly how many. Say you don't target him for 2 games in a row. He's going to be pissed, and he's going to come to you like in NBA when you sit somebody that's a big player. It's like, yo, I want more time. But Odell's going to be like, yo, give me targets. And if you don't give him targets, his morale is going to go down, and he's going to ask for a trade.
Yeah.
He's going to be a request to be traded.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the NBA.
I don't mind that. I do hate, though, in the NBA's version of it is when one player says, oh, I want easier practices. Then 2 players later, I want harder practices.
Well, that's what's probably going to happen to this, too. It's
going
to be like 1 game, you only have 2 targets, trade me. What? You have like 90 receptions and 100, and you got 1,000 yards in 5 games, and you want to be traded because you didn't get targets on 1 fucking game? Fuck you. But that's probably what's going to happen. But I'm excited. And you're going to have other traits. I did overhear there's going to be cutscenes, new cutscenes, when like a wide receiver gets a touchdown, and depending on how his personality is and the quarterback's personality, like the quarterback will try to go celebrate with the wide receiver and high five him, and the wide receiver's just going to pass by his own quarterback.
So you mean if your quarterback's Joe Flacco?
You leave Joe Flacco.
I hope, like, one thing I'm kind of hope they put back in it.
Yeah.
I know it's only like a 1 stadium celebration, but like this game and the last game, they completely took the Lambeau leap out of it.
Yeah,
like you can't select. And I figured like since you could select so many celebrations, and I figured if one of the
12, 16,
I thought one of the signature like celebrations, at least if you're in Green Bay, would have been like having them do a Lambeau leap.
But no, it's not.
But it's not. Like, so I hope they put that back in there.
They need to. I'm going to tell you 2 things that are not in this year, and you're going to be very, very pissed about it. Number 1, of course, to create a team. You cannot create a team in franchise.
I mean, they haven't had that for a while.
But are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
No more relocation.
That sucks.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Like what? That's one thing about
especially since 2 teams just relocated,
right?
Or 3 teams.
LA, and
Oakland.
oh yeah, Oakland. Yeah, they're about to. And you're gonna take out relocation? That's stupid. That's really stupid. I don't understand why that's happening. What the fuck's wrong
I
with
think the
EA
only
Sports?
reason I could have seen that they do that is because over the last they might be trying to revamp it for the next game
Probably
because the
because
last two have been like very basic where like you can't make your stadium, you
yes,
can't make your own actual uniforms, you have to select the preset ones they've selected like that they created. I think they might be doing kind of how for the next year's game do kind of how NHL has it where you have and the NBA we have complete free reign to like just change everything and then make your own stadiums, make your own uniforms and everything.
so hopefully they do bring that back in the next one. But yeah, no more relocation at least for this one. And yeah, we're oh, and the other thing is that they're gonna try to make you know how like you have a 72 overall running back and a
Mm-hmm.
78 overall running back, and the 72 overall running back is usually
It's like
better than the 78.
3,000 yards.
It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say they're going to try to make more of a separation per overall. So, like a 72 overall running back, a 78 overall running back, you're going to, of course, have an easier time with the 78 overall running back, and they should be better than the 72.
I don't know. I'll believe
We'll
that
see.
when I
Yeah,
see it.
exactly.
Just because, like, except for NHL, which the only time this happens is if you put them on a line with like two 90s and then they'll just randomly get open and find plays. Like,
Yeah.
if in any other game, if you match up like a 90 against a 60,
The
the 60 is going to get annihilated.
run right through
Like,
them.
you could take that even to like bigger games like the WWE games.
Yes.
If you fucking put Brock Lesnar against Zack Ryder,
Yeah,
Zack Ryder will
Ryder.
get murdered in like a minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a squash match, you know.
And-
it's just gonna be
and
like,
then-
well, that's the end of that.
But in like Madden, like I was even telling him earlier,
Yeah.
because I had a bet with my one friend where I bet him I can make David Fales an MVP and a Super Bowl champion, and I ended up doing that, and he was a 62 overall when I started, and at the end of the season he was still like a 63,
Right.
and he still ended
And
up
it's
winning
like, what
MVP
the hell is going
and winning
on?
the Super Bowl because there was like no actual realism. And it's even like it seems like in this last two games,
Yeah.
your players actually get punished for being rated higher. Because as soon as they get past the 90 level,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden all their production starts to go away. Like they don't get like if they're a receiver, they don't get open as easy.
Yeah.
They don't get break away as easy. And if you're a quarterback and you're like past 90, all of a sudden you start throwing a lot more interceptions. And I get it. Like
how Madden
that-
is, it sucks.
like yeah, maybe the
At
defense
times it
adjusts to play harder because you're
Right.
a better quarterback. But also, if I'm a fucking 99 quarterback and I'm playing like the fucking Oakland Raiders, I shouldn't have 6 interceptions in like the
you're
first
right.
quarter.
You
Like
shouldn't. You know, that doesn't make sense. You know, when you do have, this, the top quarterback, a 99 overall, and you're going up against a 68 overall defense, you're supposed to destroy this team.
Yeah, but-
Okay, fine. I understand you're not, you shouldn't get 20 touchdown passes in a game, but at least have the defense, if they're going to try to intercept the ball, don't let them intercept the ball.
Yeah.
Just let them knock it down.
Yeah.
Because it's
and
realistic.
a lot of the issue with it is kind of how I talked to you about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like the below average linebacker that ends up being like fucking
Oh
Luke
my
Kuechly.
god! Yeah, exactly.
They just
that
cover
jump like 7 feet in the air,
and they
for the
cover like
interception.
30 yards of field and
Yes.
just
And it's
can't be
this
stopped.
Doesn't make sense. Like, how is this possible? But I understand. Football is a very, 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 very complicated game, and trying to put it on a video game is a little bit tough. But we'll see
But
if
so
they
are
make.
the other
Yeah.
games. And like I said, like MLB, NHL, NBA, and even if you want to go like the way other not sports games like WWE
Right.
have all been better than the past few
Years.
Maddens.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
and people will kind of say like, oh well, that's because there's no competition. But even if you go to WWE, there hasn't been another wrestling game released in 10 years.
But now
Yeah, AEW's making one.
No, and also I've been hearing
New Japan.
Ukes
Oh yeah.
is trying to make Here Comes the Pain remastered.
Yeah. But that's not competition for WWE. That's just more money for WWE.
Yes.
That's not
right.
That's
no,
not
it's more
like,
money for WWE, but it's more competition with what 2K is doing.
Yeah, but I think if Ukes makes that, since WWE will be working with both companies, they'll kind of have like a kickback to THQ because they're not gonna do something to piss off. I mean, it's not even THQ anymore.
Yeah,
it's just 2K.
Yeah, it's just 2K.
Because they're not gonna do something that's gonna piss off 2K, and also with the fact that it's a remastered game, 2K is probably just like, okay, well, we're releasing this brand new game that's never been played. So you release Here Comes the Pain, and that'll be fun. You could have your GM modes again.
Yes, exactly.
And then
that's what I'm excited about.
Then we'll do our game. That's gonna be like have like all these other things that you're.
Why hasn't the 2K tried GM mode yet?
Well, first off, with the first 3 2Ks, there weren't really GMs at that time.
True.
The GMs. I mean, kind of. The GMs didn't really come into play until like the 18-19 years, and by the 18 year, the game was already developed and created.
Yeah.
Well before the GMs were named and everything, and even then,
you just should do it by itself.
And even then, in the superstar mode, the GMs were in there, so it was kind of like involved. And in 19,
you just fucking make your,
you can kind of. You just don't have like goals and like rewards and things. But you can. But you can, like, you control Raw, I control SmackDown, have your own shows and own setups. Exactly. It's not you're the GM, but you are. And I think that's kind of what they were thinking too. Like, the GM mode, how it was originally was, like, you go against each other. But I think, like, the last few years with what they've been doing with Universe mode, I think a lot of what they were thinking was, like, okay, well, you can still do that.
Right.
But you're controlling a show. You're controlling a show. You could still do it.
Exactly.
And I'd like that to be brought back. But the thing I want brought back the most is still create a finisher.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that, like, what last year's game was the whole tag. Oh no, 2 years ago the whole tagline was like be like no one.
Right.
Like, be your complete own character.
Yeah.
But they still didn't have the creative finisher put back into it. I think this year, they should really, like, I know the game's already developed and made and gets released in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I think in October if I'm not
mistaken. There's been really no information about what's been on it except for maybe the War Games match might be in it.
Oh, nice.
That's the only thing that's really been
leaked.
But it would be cool if they bring back the creative finisher. And the reason I've wanted it back was because number one, it was like you can make some like really brutal looking moves, and it was awesome.
Yes.
But also, like, what was the last year it was in? Like 06, 07?
Yeah, I think. I thought they tried to do creative finisher actually about 5-6 years ago, if I'm not
mistaken.
They
might have.
Like 2013.
Yeah, 2013 because it was the one where you could finally like create a move from the turnbuckle.
Yes.
Like where you could do like a top rope power bomb or pedigree or something. Or the top rope Canadian destroyer. Which I did a couple times. But I think like if they bring it back, I think a cool thing to add would be, since like you're going into the whole mode now of like a lot more people like Bryan, Becky, Ronda are using the submission moves and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you add that as like you could create your own submission hold.
I think it was 2010.
Yeah, 2010 because that was it went 10 and then 2Ks.
Right.
Because the 2Ks haven't been using it.
Right.
Because that was like a THQ thing, but THQ is dead. So,
they're dead.
But like I think two of the things I've always wanted in the creative mode would be either create a submission or create a double team move.
That'd be awesome.
Like if you could create a tag team move.
Yeah, if you could create a tag team move or create a submission move, that would be fucking awesome to do that. You know, I would like that.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? But speaking of WWE, we had Monday Night Raw and SmackDown this past week, and we went to head scratching to fucking phenomenal. The head scratching, of course, Monday Night Raw. We understand that the USA Network wanted. They were the ones, from what I've heard, wanted this Raw reunion because they saw that like, yo, ratings suck. You need to do something. So we're suggesting for you guys to do another like Raw, whatever the fuck reunion. Bring all the guys back. Fine and great. They did. The whole 24/7 thing was silly.
Yeah, like, but the whole title was.
Well, it's silly. I understand, but here's the thing. Like, they had so many segments that was supposed to be done, possibly also with the 24/7, with all the older wrestlers, but they couldn't because they weren't medically cleared yet. Yeah. So how do you have all these segments ready to rock and roll? Anyway, I haven't medically cleared them. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What kind of fucking basic shit is that?
It was stupid, but I did like a few of the parts, like $1 Million Man buying.
That was great. That was great. Him buying the title was fucking phenomenal.
And the Hurricane trying to get it.
Yes, and the Hurricane. But like the whole Pat Patterson thing.
Like Kelly blowing Briscoe and then pinning him.
Yes, that was good. But like, I don't know how Ted DiBiase lost it to Drake Maverick, and it was like, well, you know, it's like I don't know. You know, when you don't see the action, it's just it shows blatantly how fake and hokey it is. You know, it's like, oh, you guys are in a limo, and all you hear is just commotion, and then all of a sudden you see Maverick come out with the title. It's like, well, what happened?
That's kind of how the Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley match ended. Like, you didn't see.
Well, he went through the whole.
Yeah, but you didn't actually.
See him down. You didn't see Bobby Lashley down one, count of 10. He could have been standing up in there just with boxes in there. No. Yeah, no, I know. It's just, what are you guys doing type stuff. But whatever. Fine and great. We'll get to the best part of Raw.
I like the whole club versus DX end up.
That was good. Yes. Whole club versus DX.
Although I was kind of like, when all those people were out there, if he wasn't involved in something he's already in, I was kind of expecting Finn to come out and just kind of back up the club.
But I don't think we're going to get that until
he comes back. Until he comes back from his little break.
Exactly. Austin. Yeah. Austin, seeing him there was awesome.
Fun, but that's also something they kind of dropped the ball on because they had a golden opportunity to have Austin stun Vince and Owen stun Shane. And
yes!
And just
thank you! Just double stunners. I was looking forward to that. I was like, Austin stuns Vince. Kevin Owens
Shane tries to turn around Austin, and Kevin Owens just comes out and stuns Shane.
Maybe Vince is too old now to take a stunner. He might be.
Or just both of them stun Shane over and over.
Yeah! that could
just like back-to-back stunners on Shane.
Exactly, but we also don't know if even Austin could take doing a stunner.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean he
might break his tailbone.
I don't know, like, where does, like,
he's fine.
Decent enough to do stuff. Like
and I did hear that, he does want to do a couple things with WWE in the near future. So maybe we'll get a special guest
coming out.
Exactly.
He wants to promote it.
Maybe he'll be a special guest referee somewhere down the road. Maybe a WrestleMania match. Well, to be a guest referee in a WrestleMania match.
Well, and like the match they're rumored to be considering having him for is if they could set this up, which they've been trying to for a few years.
Yeah. With
Triple H versus Rock, and have Austin be the ref of that.
That would be crazy. That would be awesome to see those three in the ring at the same time again. That would be fucking great. But of course, the steal of the show, Bray Wyatt, dude. What they did with him this whole week was gold.
Yeah.
Like, it was 100% gold. Monday Night Raw, Mick Foley, doing his spiel and all that shit. The Fiend.
Yeah.
The Fiend claws Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that was the passing of the torch of the claw finisher.
I think he'll do a version of the claw,
Yes.
but from what I've seen online,
Yes.
is he's still gonna do
Sister Abigail. Yeah, but people these days have two finishers.
Well, they're saying he's gonna do that like into. Like he's gonna hold it and then like spin it and the Sister Abigail from the mandible claw.
All right.
Like, keep like the claw in.
Oh damn.
And then just have him on the ground in the claw after he hits the Sister Abigail.
To submit or knock out or something.
Or pin.
Or pin.
Yeah. And like they're still gonna have him like obviously do that move.
But yes.
Do a version of it with the
because
claw.
the reason why I'm saying, with maybe a version of that claw or just doing the claw as a second finisher, Bray Wyatt tweeted, I believe today, it said, "Dear Mick Foley," he tweeted to Mick Foley, "Dear real Mick Foley, I am sorry.
Yeah.
But more importantly, thank you."
Yeah.
So I think that means that he is at very least, going to use the claw as a second finisher or do what you said, a version of the claw, into the Sister Abigail.
But like I liked it. There were
awesome.
kind of theories about why it was Foley. Like one of them.
That
was one of the rumors. One of the stories was also because at this point, like Bray has just kind of been like a mystery. Like if he's face heel, whatever. But like the best way to get him super heat is to take out one of the most loved people ever. But also they're saying there was like kind of a deeper thing too. During Foley's run, when he was champion, when he was champion, his main run, a lot of the signs and everything kept saying Foley is God. Foley is God. And then Foley would change it to Foley is good because he didn't want to be compared to God.
Yeah.
But everyone was saying Foley is God.
I remember that.
And then in the tweet when WWE released him attacking Foley, it said, "Good God, what did Bray do?"
Oh shit! I like it. We see what you're doing, WWE. We see what you're doing, and we like it. We like it a lot.
But yeah, then that was interesting.
That was yes.
And then I liked him on SmackDown.
Thank you. Thank you. He wasn't in the ring for the
people were expecting that on Raw he was going to come out as good guy Bray and do a little segment with one of the legends or something.
Right.
But then on SmackDown
he did.
Finn came out and basically said he was shaking because Bray's acting weirder than normal. But then he said he'll challenge him, and then Bray comes out and says, "Yowie wowie,
yowie wowie."
Mercy
and Rambling Rabbit and I have been talking, and we love you. We love you.
Well, yeah, because Finn, you're so brave for issuing this challenge to the Fiend because. This is what we love about you.
Yes.
He's like, because you say you're the man who does extraordinary things. Then he's gonna. But the Fiend isn't a man. The Fiend is an abomination.
It's an abomination. Is a power. I mean, how fucking... Oh, my God. I love it. I love it. Bray Wyatt and whoever is doing the creative of the character.
It's mostly Bray.
Yeah. I fucking love it. Everybody loves it. He needs to be... you know what? I'm sorry. He needs to literally annihilate Finn Balor at some point.
I mean, Finn will get moves in, obviously.
But if he got annihilated in 7 minutes against Shinsuke, I'm sorry, but Bray needs to just done.
Well,
just
and I mean,
destroy.
I don't know if it'll be that quick because Finn will get some moves in, early, little rush on him, and then Bray will eventually overcome. But someone actually posted a YouTube video, about certain superstars that are in need of new music, and obviously Bray was one of them, and I think Bray's getting new music because I think it's going to be kind of a cross between what's been playing when he's been
kind of the staticky shit,
and also he's still trying to convince WWE to let him use Unsainted from Slipknot, and which would be cool, but the one comment the guy made that I didn't really agree with when he said he needed new music, because he does, because it's a different character. But he said if he doesn't get new music, it's just the same old character. And that's not true, because like yeah, the music would be weird with this version of him,
Well, what
but
if
it's not the same character
what if
because
his entrance isn't even an entrance? What if it's just
he appears.
yeah, lights go out, lights go on, he's in the ring.
Yeah.
He's ready.
And-
That would be awesome.
and-
If you do that for at least a few months or so of no music, no entrance, just lights go on, lights go off, lights go off, lights go on, he's in the ring, ring the bell. Let's go.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I
Yeah,
would like that.
but there's also like you could even let him keep the old theme, but like speed it up a bit
Okay.
and like make it like heavier and darker, and like have it like more of like
well,
a rock
I mean,
version
well,
of
he
it.
does have that, the ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
the little xylophone
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And
And instead of
or,
that, you could have it like be like an actual like guitar or a bass or something
right.
playing
Yeah.
that instead.
He could also have this when he's not the Fiend.
Yeah,
Like, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If he came out to the Firefly Funhouse theme song when he's good guy Bray,
Yeah.
I mean, this could totally become Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
He could be a face when he's Mr. Rogers
Yeah.
wrestling,
Yeah.
and then he's a heel when he's the Fiend.
but yeah, that's kind of what they released on YouTube, like as a suggested theme for him, and like it would be interesting, like having his original music, but like cut with different stuff like this. Like you could let him keep like his theme and like do the whole "Let Me In" thing
Yeah.
instead of "We're Here,"
Yeah, exactly. Instead of the "We're Here" is "Let Me In."
and then have it be like this, be like a slower
Yeah.
version of it and like heavier version of it and like more staticky version and like because his original song is a good
It's
song.
fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome.
And
It's
like
great for
obviously,
a swamp type bayou redneck, boy.
and obviously, but like having it like a little heavier, a little darker could be good. Like because obviously he's not gonna be coming out with like the lantern anymore,
No,
or, like any of
exactly.
this stuff. But like
But
like
the thing is, everybody in the audience are still gonna do the fucking Firefly thing.
especially because the show is a Firefly Funhouse,
Exactly, Firefly.
so they're still gonna do
They're
it.
still
but-
gonna do it. I mean, they did it on Monday night, and they
Yeah,
did it
like when it was
on
blacked
Balor.
out.
Yeah, when they all saw that it was Bray Wyatt, they're like, "Oh, fucking
Yeah.
bring those Fireflies out! Let's
Yeah.
fucking roll!"
Yeah. But
But,
yeah, it'll be interesting if at SummerSlam he does have an actual entrance, and it's not just appearing in the ring. Like if he has like a legitimate new song, a new way. But also, if they want to keep it to slightly more of his original entrance, that would be a good way to do it too. Like have him like on the Titantron as the good guy for a second. They'll let me in, and then it just goes black.
Yes.
And then like whatever music he has, new music he has, just walks out as the Fiend.
Exactly. Now, I know we both said 100% that we think the Demon King
No,
is
he's
going to
not.
be there. You don't think so?
They've already said it's just
That it's just going to be Finn Balor
Yeah.
versus the Fiend.
Yeah.
Then maybe when Finn Balor comes back, maybe we will get
Maybe,
Demon
like,
King
maybe
versus
Royal
Fiend.
Rumble, maybe
WrestleMania.
we get
We'll
Demon
see.
versus
See,
Bray, and maybe at that point Bray will have either IC, US, maybe the world.
Exactly. That's what I was
one
kind
of
of
the
thinking.
titles.
So to have the Fiend versus Demon King for a title,
Yeah.
that would be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best.
And also
especially at a
because,
Royal
like,
Rumble
I would have liked
or
it,
WrestleMania
like
would be
Demon
perfect.
King now, but
Maybe even Survivor Series,
Yeah.
and it's in Chicago this year.
I think the Survivor Series they're building for something else with him.
Well, what do you think?
And I think they're gonna try to do the Club versus Undisputed Era.
That's what I've been hearing. That they're gonna try to do the Club versus Undisputed Era for sure.
And they're gonna have Finn be with the Club, and like that's gonna be the start of him kind of being like bad guy version of him,
Right.
which will be cool because he kind of needs a switch in character a little bit. And that'll be fun. Like, but yeah, like maybe Mania by then Bray will have a title,
Hopefully.
and you could have Demon King versus Bray, because it would have been cool to have a Demon King, but Also, at this point, I
You
think
can't
it's
just kill off Finn Balor.
well, no, not just that. It's a little too early for it.
Yeah.
Because this is Bray's first match back.
Yes.
Also, the thing just started like last week, the rivalry with him.
Yeah.
So like building it, pushing it all the way up to
also,
Demon King.
You could feed off of last year's rivalry with Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor because we were supposed to get Sister Abigail versus Demon King at Survivor Series.
But it would also,
we never got it.
It would also make more sense if this is like Bray like annihilates him, and then that leads to Finn taking 2 months off. Then the Demon King comes back, and maybe it's not even like a match. Maybe Bray is just in the ring doing something, and all of a sudden the Demon King just appears.
Up. That would be fucking cool. And I mean, you could
start something with it.
Exactly. Speaking of rivalries that have been rekindled, and they're going to be using, from what I hear, the rivalry back, I think in 2009 or something like that.
Kofi and Orton.
SummerSlam match for the WWE title.
Yeah.
I'm already going to make my prediction on this.
Orton's going to
Orton. Yeah. We're getting Orton as the champ again.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I am too.
I'm okay with it.
And because like I kind of thought it was going to end a while ago, but yeah, it needs to.
You're going to get Randy Orton win this.
Orton needs to have another run because he's fun as champion.
He hasn't
had the title in in a long, long time.
Well, 2-3 years.
It's been more than that.
Jinder Mahal, remember that thing?
Yeah.
And Randy Orton lost it to Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, and that needs to be payback for what happened there because nobody should lose their title to Jinder Mahal.
Because ironically enough, Randy Orton beat Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 2 years ago. So,
and even that him as champion would be a good like segue
for Bray
to be like, come back
because the Fiend remembers.
Yeah,
and how because I mean he even had the picture up. In the Firefly Funhouse of the burning house of Sister Abigail in there.
Yeah.
How fucking good is that?
Yeah.
You could have Orton being the tweener that he is, face not really, heel, does whatever the fuck Orton does, and then the Fiend comes in and then hopefully beats Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
Yeah. And that would be like a good, but also not just that, like SmackDown has kind of hit like a lull with Kofi as champion because they do have so many faces on that show.
They do.
Like having Orton as champion, and you get like Orton versus KO. You get because KO is a face now.
Yeah.
You could get like you said, Orton versus Bray, Orton versus a few other like people like
The Miz.
The Miz maybe.
You know. You could try to make Dolph Ziggler a face again. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, no, they're gonna have Ziggler versus Michaels at SummerSlam.
Really?
Yeah. That's what the whole thing at SmackDown was about.
Because I thought that was because I thought they were going to, or maybe like a Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, and then Shawn Michaels as special guest enforcer, or maybe referee, or in that would be kind of cool, or in The Miz's corner.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of heard they want to do kind of how the Claw thing was passing of the torch. Ziggler, Michaels, even though Ziggler's older, so
so I don't know what the fuck's gonna really happen there.
But
I mean, KO he does super kicks too, so might as well.
But not as a finisher, he just does it to fuck people up.
Exactly.
Instead, he does stunners.
Exactly. Fucking love it. I'm excited.
Yeah, and the SummerSlam should be fun. Like the Bray match will be good.
Oh yeah.
It'll be fun to see
we got a lot
out.
of other things ready to go. You know, we still got a few weeks left, so hopefully some
2
other
weeks.
Oh, the huge rumor is that we're possibly going to get Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I like the idea. I like it. It's in Toronto. You know you need Charlotte Flair on the show. It's SummerSlam.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Do you really?
Yeah, she's a good wrestler. She really is.
Yes, but do you really need her on the show?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You really don't.
It'll be perfect. Her versus Trish Stratus. It seems like a perfect mesh of a SummerSlam match. Hopefully Trish will be okay in the reason match, but I think Charlotte's going to destroy her. Actually, if that match happens, I think it's going to go the other way.
Really? Because the other match is like the they forced Canadian person into the match, Natalia versus
yeah,
Becky.
he's gonna
Obviously,
lose.
Natalia ain't gonna fucking win the women's title.
And we all know Kevin Owens is going to beat Shane McMahon.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not going to quit.
yeah.
So, and that's another Canadian.
But Natalia's gonna lose. She ain't getting the fucking title from Becky Lynch.
No.
So they're saying Trish's return will be her beating Charlotte and that. And
well, what about the greatest Canadian of them all, Jinder Mahal? Is he going to be on the show?
No.
Why not?
Because nobody likes him.
This is true.
And he's not a Canadian in WWE.
This is very true. He isn't, but he is in real life.
Maybe Santino will come back because he's a Canadian.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's just an Italian Canadian.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Because those are so common.
So common. Italian Canadians.
Or a Muhammad Hassan, who's also Canadian.
Get him in there, too. God. But no, it's shaping up that it's going to be a fun SummerSlam.
Yeah, it should be.
So before I have nothing else to say, how do you feel about Seth Rollins?
I like him.
Do you feel like his promos are kind of generic?
I think they need to.
Kind of hokey.
Yeah, I think they need
kind
to.
of suffering shuckatage.
Yeah,
type
I
shits.
think they need to move him back like they did with AJ.
Yeah.
Let him be like a bad guy again.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit more natural for him.
He's this whole like Brock Lesnar, like it's
even
it's not Seth Rollins in a way.
Even if you think about like his finisher, that's more of a heel move.
Yeah, the stomp. Yeah,
than it is a face.
Right.
Like
it is
doing a fucking curb stomp because like everybody could remember like when he fucking curb stomped Dean Ambrose into the cement box a couple times.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's more fitting to be a heel, and I think they kind of got to go back in that direction.
I think so too. I think they need to turn him heel.
And it's kind of hard though with Brock being champion because because Brock's not really a face.
Brock's just Brock Lesnar.
So yeah, Seth needs to be a heel.
So maybe if Rollins gets the title back, just turns heel right away on the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Or you could even do it in that match because you could have him beat Brock, but do it like an underhanded way, like either hit him with the chair, hit him with the blow,
and then it kind of like makes you think like, wait a minute.
And then even after the match, if Brock's down, you could have him like do what he did with the Shield. Just have him go and get a chair.
Yeah.
Just like
just
fucking
beat the hell, yeah.
with it and just destroy him with it. And like
but that's actually gonna give him more cheers.
Yeah, but he's gonna get cheers no matter what. Yeah. Because like the heels and faces don't get the reactions they're supposed to get anyways.
This is true. This is becoming very, very true.
So he's gonna get cheers no matter what he does, and the one thing although it's kind of hard with this because Triple H gets cheers too. Because I was gonna say you could have him go back to Authority, Seth.
You could, but but
Triple H gets cheers, and Stephanie's been getting cheers
exactly.
Too,
so it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to do this?
Kind of be difficult, but yeah, and that's kind of like with AJ. AJ has been more fun again as letting him be a bad guy again. So like that would be fitting for Seth, and then they had the announcement that today that on October 2nd is going to be the first day for the AEW show, like live show.
Ooh, so yeah, the episodic, for Wednesday nights, right?
And they picked an interesting day because if that goes against NXT already has a kind of built-in. Yeah, they do. So NXT might destroy AEW and like the big talk with WWE has been considering taking NXT off of the network
and then putting it on
USA or Fox.
Yeah.
And then having it
go
directly
against AEW is to be like, we'll see how good you guys are because we're going to put you against NXT.
Yeah.
So good luck.
And that's kind of like the funny thing that I was talking about was like with a lot of like the AEW things was promos and everything, like saying they're like if they're gonna like take out Raw and SmackDown, and
Yeah.
like my friends who like love AEW, I even told them it's like that's not who they're competing against. I was like,
No.
they're competing against NXT,
Yeah.
and at this point, NXT has the edge because you have like big names with fucking Jericho and
Moxley, yeah.
But
good old JR.
But you also have in NXT, you have Adam Cole, you have the Undisputed Era, you have Matt Riddle, you have people that haven't even been used yet that are
Gargano.
You have Gargano, Ciampa.
Yeah, exactly.
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah. So good luck with that, you know? Fuck.
And plus even if they want to go like WWE wants to do it like a whole no fucking around thing, they could even, because technically NXT is just a 1 hour show. Yeah. They'd be like, here, you want to fuck around? Okay, first hour NXT, second hour NXT UK.
Game
All
over.
right, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Be like, you want to start a war with us? Be like, this is gonna end the way we had the war with the other TNT.
Exactly.
So, let's see how let's see how long this lasts.
Exactly. No, you're right. You're right.
And I could honestly see them doing that because, it's gonna be it would be difficult for them to take those shows off of the network because they are the highest rated shows on it.
Right.
But also, you don't have to take it off for good because you could put it on Fox.
You could.
And you could have the UK version after it too. And you could still also stream it on the network. Because if you do it that way too, then you have it on two ends where people can watch it on Fox, watch it live, but also if they want to watch AEW too, then they could just turn and put it on the network too and watch it on the network and be like NXT is still getting like big numbers and AEW will get like some too. And honestly, like the two AEW shows have been really fun. But kind of like I said like a couple of weeks ago, I don't think it's a sustainable thing because they're not going to be able to be like that violent, that like every crazy on actual TV.
That too.
Because they're not going to allow it anymore.
TNT won't allow it, and you might be right. You know, so we'll see. We'll definitely see how the transition is with that, and they are going to need. They got Dean Malenko now, right?
Yeah, as a producer.
As a producer. Yeah. And we'll see how their creative team.
But they don't have a creative team.
That's right.
Because they said it's all independent. The wrestlers write the stories.
Yeah.
And
that might be a good, though. Well, it depends on who it is.
WCW.
That's true. It could also be Jericho as champion forever.
And that's what it might, the first show might end up being Jericho as champion. And honestly, if that's, I'm interested to watch the first televised show.
Oh yeah, me too.
But if Jericho is the champion going into that first show, I'm like right off the bat, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't care. You let 90-year-old Chris Jericho be your world champion, okay? But that's WCW again.
I'll watch because I'm a Jericho.
Be like, that's WCW again. I know how this ends. I
know how this ends, and that's in fire.
You just fast forwarded to the end, basically, instead of waiting a few years.
Exactly.
And there's also another rumor going around because this rumor happens fairly often with Impact because they keep losing TV networks.
Yeah, they are.
That now might be the time that they do go with WWE and just
WWE, go on the network.
WWE show. And the thing that really kind of fast track this was the whole RVD appearing on Raw.
Well, Impact gave him the permission.
But that's the first time that's actually happened, though. Because even for Impact people, kind of like the WWE people, where when WWE had like years ago when Impact was their competition, when
Yeah.
WWE people were shown in the audience, they basically got fired. And the same thing happened with Impact people, where if they were shown at a WWE event, they either got suspended or got fired
Damn.
because they weren't supposed to be
They weren't supposed
shown
to be shown
at another
at an
event.
event. Interesting.
Because that's what happened to the Highlanders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they were shown at an Impact event, but I mean they said their real names, so it wasn't like their
So
characters.
the Highlanders, yeah.
But it's
But
still,
still,
you
they
knew
are
who it
still under
was.
contract with WWE. So for them to go on Impact or whatnot, yeah, I
And
get you.
yeah, and like there's been kind of a more like applicable relationship between the two companies recently with the whole Dixie Carter doing the Kurt Angle like 24 story, and having Christian appeared at one of the Impact events when he was still under contract with WWE, and then RVD now appeared on Raw for the
Yeah.
reunion.
So
So I could honestly see
that they're
maybe
finally
WWE
gonna-
just goes to TNA and like, look, like you've been on all these networks.
yeah.
They can't sustain a wrestling program, and it's kind of been evident. Be like, we're going to move our two big shows to the TV network with
Right.
NXT
and
and
NXT,
NXT UK. But we'll put you either on Thursday or on Tuesday
Yeah.
in their time slot. If we know people from the network will be interested to watch another wrestling show that's basically live on the
Right.
network, because it's been happening with these two shows, and we'll market you a lot. We'll like have, if you have your specials, we'll do what we do with
Yeah.
NXT.
You know,
We'll
like-
market it up the ass. We'll like tell people, tune in this Sunday, tune in this Saturday, and watch TNA
Impact.
Bound for Glory,
Right.
TNA Ultimate X or whatever, Destination X. We'll tell them to watch your stuff and build it up. And there's also talk that they're gonna, because they did it a few weeks ago with Evolve, that's the other company they're gonna like put on the network more,
Interesting.
and that
Evolve, yeah.
that they're gonna put these Impact's not really indie, but
Yeah.
it kind of is.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But they're gonna put them on, try to get them into the network,
and try to build up the industry, but still have WWE
But still have
as
that
the
control.
monopoly. Yeah.
and that's
monopoly.
kind of what TNA is pushing back against.
Because
Is
they want to
because
be their own.
they wanna
independent
have
thing.
Their own
But if
say.
they're gonna
But WWE,
fold.
but what from a lot of the stories I've read, what WWE is kind of like saying or willing to do is saying like, be like, you can be on the network, and if you want to have your own say, run the program like you want.
Yeah, go
Like
for it.
NXT basically wants how Triple H wants.
Yeah.
Now, if you want us to help, if you want, say, Triple H to help, if you want Shane to help, if you even want Vince's input on some of this, because he knows.
He knows it like the back of his hand, no matter how crazy he is,
Because he knows it, and if you just need someone to kind of lean on to like
Yeah.
help you in this situation, we can like push you in the direction that you need to go into. And if we also want to do something like huge and crazy, like we could have one time only or a big time show, NXT versus TNA.
That'd be cool.
Like have it be your Slammiversary or one of our takeover events,
Right.
and we could have the top stars in NXT
Faces-
take on your top stars in
on
Impact,
TNA, yeah, exactly.
and like have it be a huge blowout. And I think that would be really beneficial for them. And like the one company I always thought it was gonna eventually happen for was Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
but Ring of Honor is kind of like going a little like
going
lower
down,
now
yeah.
because of AEW.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what TNA needs to guard against. And the best way they could do that, and even
Because
if it's something,
AEW could take out TNA, but
and
if
even,
WWE helps out TNA,
even if it's something that TNA may not want to do, it could be in their best interest to just say like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, if you want us to run our show, how we kind of want to run our show,
Then
we'll do it.
Right.
We'll be on the network, and
exactly.
you can like advertise us like you do with every other one of your events, and like because the other two companies I was thinking of it happening for would have been Evolve, but I don't know if Evolve would be a big enough deal to where if it is a weekly show, people are really gonna tune in, because if it is Impact, like even if like because
People
they've gotten
know what Impact
because
is.
they've gotten have their last
Right.
few weeks I've been watching has been getting a little better,
Yeah.
and if it is something all of a sudden you see, okay, starting October 15th, watch TNA Impact on the WWE Network. All of a sudden, people will be like, "Really?"
Oh,
We'll be
shit.
like, "Really?"
All right, cool.
We'll be like, "Oh,
Let's
okay,
fucking
that's
watch.
different." All right, and then you could also say and have that be kind of a stepping stone to maybe WWE getting part of the Impact library and be like, watch AJ Styles best matches in TNA.
Against Samoa Joe.
Watch watch the best
of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, watch the best X divisions of the past
Yeah.
15 years on the WWE
And
Network.
then you get all the archives of them, and then it gives more help to TNA
and boosts TNA back up a little bit to where, like, honestly, they should have been the company that really would have pushed WWE. They just made the huge mistake of, instead of going after SmackDown at the time, which would have been the show to go after, because
Yes.
at the time it was weak.
Yes.
And they did have Jeff Hardy just come into them at the
Right.
time.
That's right.
And Christian and RVD and a few other people.
Yep.
But instead they decided to go right at Raw at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and then hire Hogan and Bischoff and all of them, and it
didn't work out.
Imploded.
Yes. And that's why actually AEW is smart, because if you do want to go after any of the three, actually maybe SmackDown.
I'd actually go after Raw because Raw, like SmackDown's even been SmackDown has been a little bit more watchable than Raw in recent history, because if you gave me the 3-show option of who I want to attack, my last option would be NXT because I'd be looking at that and be like, I don't want any of that.
I don't want any of that.
But like, I've seen what they do. I don't want to get involved with that.
Honestly, then if they were smart, they would just do Thursdays.
Yeah, or even like
Fridays, nobody's going to be there.
Well, although that's what might be what they might be moving SmackDown back to.
Oh God,
is Friday maybe, but that's still kind of up for debate when Fox wants it, and also if it is on Fox, you're gonna be seeing, which even if it is on a Friday, the one big advantage Fox will have having SmackDown on Friday as opposed to every other network, as you could say, Sunday football. Big commercial at halftime or right before is watch SmackDown every Friday night on Fox.
Watch that already on Tuesday night.
Yeah, but even more though, you could have Saturday night or Saturday night, either because they've had some hockey games and everything on Fox and had some other sports and football. You could have it be like, watch 3 big events back to back. Friday night SmackDown. We have Saturday night. We could have college football. Friday, Sunday night football,
Sunday night football,
or Sunday night,
or Sunday football.
Sunday,
I got you.
And like kind of build it up as like a big week event. And on times like this, when there is no football, it will kind of be like a low point. But part of what they're thinking could be is, okay, in our off season for football, which is when we get our big ratings, we could move to SmackDown as our big advertisement thing of, this is our off season for our big thing, but we still have watch every week, watch SmackDown, watch what happens. And the big rumor of the 2 people that they want for SmackDown, which is in NXT right now, is Shayna Baszler and Matt Riddle.
Okay.
because they want, like I've told you before, they want it to be
They
more
want it to be
like
more
raw and actual fighting more.
exactly.
Like
They're gonna want that type of shit on their show. I gotcha.
And which is gonna be interesting with Bischoff also in control of it. It'll be fun to see how it progresses. And honestly, like from what they're saying, that the first show on Fox, they want it to be like a huge thing, like the reunion was, and they're like pushing really hard for the Rock,
Right? To
for the Rock to
and,
appear,
and of course, probably Austin again.
Yeah.
Of course, Taker.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, all the
they're
big
saying they might
stars.
have Big Show do something and like make appearance because he is technically under contract, even though he hasn't been anywhere because
exactly.
he's just been doing the charity stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
which is a good thing for the WWE because that's a big part of what the WWE is their whole like Make-A-Wish thing and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I honestly I think that's in October too when
it is.
SmackDown goes to Fox.
It is.
So it'll be
a
really
interesting
one.
AEW versus SmackDown.
Well, no, it's going to be AEW versus NXT.
Exactly.
And also, like I said, if that is the thing that happens, I could even see WWE, if they don't do the UK thing, maybe being like, okay, now NXT is 2 hours.
That'd be crazy.
And NXT now has the Cruiserweight division.
Right. Because I hear 205 Live is possibly going to go downhill. Yeah. So, they have
and then be like, okay, the Cruiserweight division moves to NXT. Right. NXT has 2 hours. Let's run with it, see what happens.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what, in an interview, Triple H kind of said that, like, the sweet spot for a wrestling show is to have it be, like, 1.5 to 2 hours.
Right.
Because that's the perfect amount of time to get everything
in and all that stuff.
And he's even said that if one of the things he would do, which is impossible because of all the advertisements they have, is if he was in charge, he'd want Raw to go back to 2 hours. But he's even said, like, it's just not possible because we have all these advertisers, we have all these people on this show that we want to get involved. It just doesn't happen sometimes. Because he even says, like, you think 3 hours is all this time. He's like, until you're in that situation where you're writing for it and you're like, holy shit, I want to do this story, but if this is here and this is there and we're going to have the women's title and we're going to have the tag matches, he's like, I want to put you here, but I just can't because we can't book it at this point. And that's the big thing. Like, everyone's saying, like, oh, you have 3 hours of TV. How can you, like, not get Apollo Crews a match or not get Tyler Breeze a match until you're actually in that situation where you're writing for the show and you're like,
you gotta think and you're
like, okay, these are my champions. I gotta get them on TV because they're holding the titles.
Put other people on, and I gotcha.
And we have to have our little interview segments because that's how we build up our stories with our top people and I kind of respect them for like sticking with the 3 hour thing for as much as they did.
Yeah, they've done a very
for
good
3-4 years. I think it's been 3 hours, and it's like because honestly, like Triple H has said, it's not an easy thing to like number one cut something down to 3 hours, but also write something for all 3 of those hours.
Exactly.
So that's why when he is fully in charge, it's going to be interesting to see what Triple H, Shane, and Stephanie really
do. Exactly.
Especially if it's going to be part of having Shawn Michaels be a big part
Possibly.
of it.
Possibly. I'd say more than likely.
So that'll be fun. The first AEW show will be something interesting. I just hope to God Jericho's not the champion.
I think
he's going to be. It's not going to be a good idea.
No, it's just not going to. I'm going to watch it for sure.
It's not going to be a good idea. It's just awful.
It'll be a great idea.
No, it's not. That's about as good of an idea as it is to have Joe Flacco as your quarterback. How did that work out for you? You were down 21-3 with Joe Flacco against the fucking Panthers.
No, it was 27-10.
No, he
It's 27 to
no
10.
he got hurt at 3,
Oh,
and then you got the touchdown with Haskins.
I don't know.
And meanwhile, I had back-to-back 700-yard passing games with a non-passing quarterback
Well, this
of
is
Lamar Jackson.
the pop list. I'm James.
And he's about to draft Joe Flacco #1 overall.
And Chris Jericho will be the greatest AEW champion of all time.
That's because he's going to be the only AEW champion. That's like saying that fucking...
AEW.
That's like saying...
Chris Jericho.
That's like saying Brock Lesnar is the greatest Universal champion because he's had it like 60
No,
times.
that was Kevin Owens.
Because
Kevin Owens has been the greatest Universal champion of all time.
Even though people thought his run was a disaster.
I loved it.
But until next time, you're going to see Joe Flacco being drafted #1 by his fantasy team. And we're going to work something out between me, him, and our friend Kyle about getting James that #1 pick.
So Joe Flacco.
So Joe Flacco can be the
This season's not over yet. The season is not over
But the way
yet.
it's going, unless Lamar has some kind of catastrophic injury, he's going to break the passing yards record, and he may push a couple other ones and get another MVP. So even if you get another Super Bowl, you're still going to be down.
All right, I'm out. I'm James.
I'm Adam.
This is the pub list.
And Joe Flacco's
Chris
gonna suck
Jericho,
forever.
AEW champion. Woo!
And Joe Flacco got hurt again.